Oh, okay. Appreciate it, sir, so much. Thank you.
Matt, this is Travis.
This is Travis. Yeah. How you doing, sir?
I want to pet the baby, but they said no. They're not free. Find someone to.
What are you, honey?
With that stuff and.
Right here. So what are you, 19?
We got Christine's Jewelry Shop over here. We got food, all free will donation. Bells, bathrooms. I actually either please respect the employees, the customers. Don't trash out the bathrooms, otherwise they'll come.
He would lay down on the pillow and then get up and the hair on.
Felt like we were getting our haircut.
Oh yeah!
Fiberglass muds put on. And pretty much sanded. For that kind of mud, just go ahead and use an air sander. There's really no point in trying to block sand it out. It sands so hard. It's just basically a filler anyway, just to fill in some of your real deep imperfections when you weld on a new panel. So don't worry about trying to block it out like your chip foose or something like that. It ain't gonna happen. After that, you put a normal coat of body filler over that, and then you want to start block sanding. But I'm just going to go ahead and do that once I put regular body filler on the whole rest of the car. Well, the whole rest of the quarter panel, because I'm just going to do a quarter panel, then move on to a door, then a fender. I'm not going to try to cycle around the whole car and do it. So, as you can see on the quarter panel, I already started block sanding it up in here, trying to get a feel for where all the dents are. I had a pretty good idea, but this helps highlight them. And then I took my hammer. It's kind of nice on this. I got access to the back side. I can get to the back of the quarter panel pretty easily, so I was able to tap those out a little bit, get those ready for some body filler. I know there's some big dents down in here. There's one kind of showing up right there. When you block sand, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but your shiny spots that are left are going to be your dents. It kind of helps show some of them that you might not have known was there. So I got a real nasty, just a humdinger right here. Pretty good dent. And I don't have any access to get behind there, so I'm gonna have to pull out a tool. Alright. This little majestic piece of machinery is a stud puller. Welds on little studs. I'm sure everyone's seen them before. Welds on little studs. Makes it so you can grab onto them to pull a dent out if you don't have access to the back side. You want to find the lowest point of the dent and work into that. Just tap it. Weld it on. Grab your slide hammer. Mine's a little rigged up. Welded a pair of vice grips on it because the jaws inside of here stopped holding. Give her a little tug. Moving out a little bit. Grab a hammer, body hammer, tap down. The way the dent was, it was dented in here, and then there was a crown on top where the metal that moved in pushed up on top. The metal's got to have a place to go, so it usually leaves you with a crown around the impact. So when you pull out the impact, you want to tap down around where the dent was to knock the crown out. Just feel it. That feels pretty good. Got another dent actually right next to it, so that feels pretty good. I like it. Give this one a little pull. I think we're good. And just grab onto those pins with your vice grips. It's kind of nice actually having the vice grips on here. And you just give it a little twist and they fall off. Nothing too fancy. Check it. Yeah. Feels pretty good. So after you get it pulled out, it's gonna leave little high spots right where those pins were, just because they move a lot of metal in a little tiny area. So you want to take your grinder and buzz those off. On some of the newer cars, you really don't want to do that because the metal is so thin, you don't want to remove any of it, really. I mean, like, so thin. A lot of times those stud pullers will actually pull holes in the metal because it's so thin. But yeah, grind that off. I'm gonna blow off this panel. I'm gonna blow off the whole thing. And then I'm gonna go through and mix up a little body filler to fill in some of the big stuff. I'm not gonna coat the whole quarter panel, but I'm gonna fill in just the big stuff. A lot of the old school bodywork guys are probably freaking out that I'm about to put mud over paint. You don't need to take the paint off anymore. The mud is formulated now that they don't require you to strip everything to bare metal. You just need to rough the surface up with at least 80 grit. Well, I should say certain muds are formulated for that. Just read the specs on it, make sure you can do that. When you're spreading mud, don't worry about getting it to look pretty. Your goal is just to get it on the panel. It's a filler. Your goal is to make it fill before trying to make it pretty. A lot of guys spend a lot of time trying to make it pretty, and they end up running out of time to spread the mud. So get it on your panel, and then if you have time, you can go back through and try to pretty it up, but everything will block out. It's just takes a little more time if it's ugly mud work. So I'm not going to focus on anything other than this top area here, just because you don't want to try to spread too much mud at once because it will harden up on you. Got quite a bit of mud left. We'll see if I can rough up some more areas. Before it dries, probably not. It's still spreading. Pushing my luck here. It's starting to get hard. Feel it. the more of an angle that you put on your spreader, if you hold it more, I don't know the technical term for that, straight up against the panel, it will skim more of your mud off. If you lay it more parallel, it gets to be perpendicular then. If you lay it more parallel with the panel and pull it, it leaves more of the mud on there, so you kind of can control where the mud's at by the angle of your spreader. Laying out more with the panel, it'll leave mud. You tip it up, it'll start shaving mud off, so you can kind of smooth out your edges, because you want to fill it in where you need it, and then when you get to the end, you want to start pulling it back to kind of taper off your edges. Just makes it easier when you go back and sand it. So now we just wait, let that dry, start block sanding it.